and start recording.
Okay, well, let's wait till that's up, right?
Yes, and then I'm going to make sure that it's flagged over here.
Okay, how do I get back to Zoom?
You just go in that window. Hold
The
on.
bottom?
It says live on YouTube right now.
Okay. Dawn's double checking to make sure that it's working on her end.
Right. New frontier.
Okay. Press record, please.
I've got record on my end. Okay, Ms. Pruitt, I think we're ready to go.
Okay, thank you very much. Good evening. I'd like to call to order the regularly scheduled board meeting for the Moore Public Schools Board of Education. Today is Monday, April the 13th, 2020 at 6:04 p.m. Due to the current Corona-19 health crisis, our meeting this evening will be held via video conference with all Board of Education members. The meeting will be open to the public via streaming on YouTube at the following internet address, https://www.youtube.com/user/Moore OK Public Schools. The Board of Education may act to approve, disapprove, table, or modify any agenda items requiring action. The meeting has been called to order. Ms. Brickman, would you please call roll?
Amy Reeves,
Here.
Allison Ritchie,
Here.
Karen Shuey,
Here.
Mike Wright,
Present.
Stacy Pruitt.
Here. And we will now do our Pledge of Allegiance. Please place your hand over your heart. I pledge allegiance
Allegiance to the flag
Flag
of the
of the
United States
of America and
and
to
to
the
the
republic
republic for which it
which it
stands,
stands, one
one
nation,
nation under
under
God,
God,
indivisible,
all with
liberty
liberty and justice for all.
Okay, we'll work on that.
New
Does-
frontier.
That's right. Do any board members have any opening remarks?
No.
No. Okay, we will move on to item number 4, adoption of agenda. Act upon adoption of the agenda.
Move to adopt.
Second.
Reeves,
yes.
Ritchie,
Yes.
Shuey,
Yes.
Wright,
Yes.
Pruitt.
Yes, motion carries 5-0. Item number 5, superintendent's report. Dr. Romines?
Yes, Ms. Pruitt, members of the board, I've got several things to cover. And I kind of figured that you all would expect that with everything that has gone on over the last couple of weeks since our special board meeting. So you all bear with me as I read through the list of items here. Did you all receive a copy of that via email, the superintendent's report earlier? Okay.
Yes, thank you.
You're welcome. Wanted to start by talking about child nutrition and how thankful we are for our child nutrition team who's prepared meals for our students throughout this health crisis. We're also very thankful to our administrators who served the meals to our students throughout this time. That's been an effort and a great thing from not only, again, our child nutrition department, but our administrators that have been there helping serve meals. Excluding today, which is Monday, because when we prepared this, I didn't have today's counts. Our CNO, our child nutrition department, has served over 92,000 meals since we started all of this right after spring break. And I just take a minute to think of that 92,000 plus meals to our students across this district over the last 3 weeks. So great things happening there. Obviously, this is a tremendous amount of meals that have been served. During the first week of the school closure, they served more than we did this past June and July over that entire summer feeding program that we typically do over the summers in only 1 week. So again, great things happening there. Many thanks to Mr. Martin, who oversees child nutrition, and of course, Pam Hart. Without her, we would not be able to do a lot of the things that we've done. And of course, their leadership over child nutrition program has been huge. And again, also many thanks to our administrators that have, are, and continue to work shifts. I'm very proud of our administrative group. If I've heard once, I've heard many times that they're not going to ask people to do something that they're not willing to do themselves. So again, our administrators have been great in that role. The dedication and sincere hearts to provide our students with much needed food has been remarkable, and we are so very thankful for everyone's help. So again, huge shout out to our child nutrition department and people responsible for helping with that endeavor. As you know, distance learning, we kicked that off, that learning piece on Monday, April 6th. And as you know, we've had very little time to develop and implement those plans for our secondary and elementary students. We started here at the administration level over spring break, and then that week that we were given to work things through, and from my perspective, in my opinion, have done a great job there. There was no small feat to address educational needs for approximately 25,000 students, most who have learning tools at home, but not everybody did. And we found that out really quickly when we sent the survey out shortly after spring break. Very proud of our academic leadership from Ms. McNear, Mr. Peak, Ms. Thompson, and their teams to develop our distance learning plans, all the way to Mr. Kim and to Mr. Wilmarth and their teams for making sure our teachers and staff had the tools needed for continued education. Many thanks to our principals and teachers for their hard work organizing lessons and then preparing work packets and or lessons in Canvas. They have done a wonderful job on putting all that together in such a short time frame. And of course, again, very proud of them. Secondary, more of a focus on secondary last week. Obviously, the focus was to make sure that all students have a computer and internet in their homes. If they did not have access to a device in the home or connectivity, then principals worked with our technology department to secure those devices and hotspots for the students in need. Students and teachers worked through tech concerns, logged into their Canvas accounts, and worked in training modules this past week. And this week, they've actually started their instruction. Please know that students who chose not to utilize technology to complete the year were provided learning packets. So our secondary students had some choices in regards to which model that they wanted to choose. Technology, again, I cannot say enough great things about our technology department. They obviously extended work hours and set up a drive-through system with appointments so families could pick up that much needed equipment safely from their vehicles. And so they did a phenomenal job there. The elementary, I can't say enough about the students who received learning packets with the last 6 weeks of coursework. Our teachers prepared the lessons and delivered those to each of the students' homes or mailed or emailed them, whatever method was best for the teachers and students' families. One of the things that I have found that's been quite helpful and interesting is most of those packets are individualized. As you all know, we have students that fall under our special education category, and so their packets look somewhat different than some of our other students. And of course, that's based on their IEPs or their 504s. So a lot of work went into that and planning, and so very proud of our teachers for doing that. Additionally, each school has a distance learning area on their website with weekly messages from the principals, virtual spirit day or week activities. Specials have also developed those different links, our STEAM and STEM classes, our teachers, PE, art, music activities, information from our school counselors and librarians, fun learning videos, and much, much more. So a lot of the counseling piece was obviously very important to all of us. So Christy Hernandez and Michelle McNear have a very clear plan on what that looks like at the elementary level and of course the secondary level. And just please know that we have those resources available and they're out there for all of our students. And so very proud of all of what I consider what I call our specials teachers and our media specialists and our librarians for going that extra mile and putting things on their website for our students. And those are updated each Wednesday. So they have a criteria that they have to follow, and so far they're doing a great job. And again, very proud of them. Also want to give a shout out to the More Public Schools Foundation. We're very thankful to the foundation and their generous contribution to pay all printing costs for our learning packets, which was approximately $30,000. Their kind gift has helped around 15,000 of our students. What an impact that they've made with that donation. Again, many thanks to Mr. Ramick and the MPS board and their selfless donors who continue to help our schools. We had a plan in making sure that that happened, that when Clayton Ramick called and asked what they could do as a foundation to help, we laid that in front of them, and within, I think, 24 hours, he had a response for us, and that was a unanimous decision from their board. So again, very thankful and proud for their efforts. Talk to you all just a minute about Ed Tech. Many thanks to Mr. Wilmarth and his team for their advisement through this process, and it's been a huge process. They've been leading training sessions and remained readily available for our principals and teachers with instant online Zoom help desk sessions. I even tried out one myself with Mr. Anderson, and of course I didn't have any issues or problems, but I just want to check to make sure he was there in his office hours, and he was there with a smile on his face and he was ready to help. So very proud of that entire group. They've done phenomenal work to help us learn these important online educational tools in such a very short time. And you'd have asked me 3 weeks ago if this could be accomplished. I probably would have told you no. And so pleasantly surprised and very grateful for them in doing that. Just want to share some numbers with you all in the public. To date, as you all are aware, we've got a Canvas, which is our learning management system that our secondary students, 7th through 12th, are currently working on and doing most of their lessons online. We have over 1,300 courses to date, 490 active teachers, 11,000 active students, 27,800 assigned assignments, 3,300 discussion topics, 25,300 files that have been uploaded, files meaning their homework and their coursework, and over 1,500 media recordings. Those numbers are staggering. We're in week 1 of this process. So I see those numbers continue to grow. And again, very proud of all of their work. Again, huge thank you to Mr. Wilmarth, Mr. McConnell, Mr. Anderson, Ms. Hammond, and Ms. Monroe for their help with this implementation. We could not have done it without that department. So thank you for that. Touched on this just a little bit earlier on the counseling. We know that this is a stressful time and it's hurtful to many of our students and families. Therefore, Ms. Hernandez and her team have developed online COVID-19 crisis resources to help families with counseling at home. That is on our website, school district's website, and it's readily available and easy to find. And when going back to talking about these times are stressful and hurtful, the way we had to end the school year so abruptly and being out for the next 6 weeks and people not having the ability to say goodbye and give well wishes, that's where it's been hard. It's been difficult on our teachers. They're used to seeing their students in their classrooms at their desks every single day, and they don't get that anymore. Now, they do get that through Zooms and Zoom meetings and that type of thing, and many of our teachers are doing that, and that's been a huge resource and a great thing. Our students need to see their teachers as much as our teachers need to see their students. So that's been a good thing there. Lastly, our teachers have contacted all their students via video conferencing or phone calls to check on them and to answer any questions that they might have. They will do this every week throughout the end of the school year. This past week, there were some great Zoom meetings with teachers in their classes. We've heard great stories from our staff on what that looked like and how that all played out. We appreciate our teachers and our staff for their continued efforts to take care of our students and for building those relationships with students and families. And again, that's the academic piece is always important, but the relationship piece and the mental health of our students is equally important. We know these efforts also help everyone mentally and emotionally to see each other's faces and to hear their voices. I must include the abundance of encouraging messages shared between students, teachers, and families with all the parades and the pictures and videos have inspired all of us. So if you've not had a chance to look at that, and I know most of you probably have, but take some time to follow our social media. and see all of the great things that our staff had done without even being asked. Those were things that they wanted to do. We will continue to share all the great things going on social media pages as we receive them. And so be sure and follow our social media pages. Then also wanted to visit with you just about some other things that we've been doing across the school district over the past couple of weeks. Delivery to hospitals. A call was made right after spring break, or during spring break actually, from some of our neighboring or neighborhoods hospitals and some of our doctors' offices and that type of thing. They were completely out of antibacterial wipes, gloves, hand sanitizer, and those types of things. And believe it or not, our elementary schools and our secondary schools had quite a few of that left as we were going to use that during the last 9 weeks. We gathered all of that up and we were able to make deliveries to Norman Hospital, OU Medical Center with those much needed supplies. I did some deliveries this last week. Ms. Reeves, it was to one of the contacts that you had sent to me. And when I got there, literally the doctor and the nurses came to the door and said, we just used our last deal of hand sanitizer and wipes. So that was great. And as you all know, we are in a community that people have given back to us during some of those difficult times. And it was really a great feeling to be able to give back to the hospitals and the doctors' offices in the surrounding area. So that was a great day. Also, athletics and extracurricular activities. Most of our coaches and advisors have been providing athletes with voluntary workout sessions and trainings, which has been great. These efforts are appreciated and helpful for our students. OSSAA, which is the Athletic Association for the state, has canceled all of their activities through the end of the school year, which for us is May 15th, but our coaches are still very active with their players, and very much appreciate Mr. Fitzgerald and his group and his coaches for doing that. Personnel, as you all know, at the special board meeting on Tuesday, March 31st, you all as a Board of Education unanimously voted to ensure our support staff would continue to be paid throughout this contracted year. I would like to thank each one of you for doing that and your constant efforts to safeguard this staff. You've been here before on that, and you continue to do what's right and best by our employees. Later, as you know, after our meeting, Governor Stitt ordered all districts to pay support staff. I would like to thank him and the State Department of Education for ensuring that staff are paid throughout the state as well. Also, many thanks to Mr. Bailey and Mr. Ryan for their continued efforts working with our staff to address payroll and benefits concerns. When you have 2,500 employees and something like this hits, it takes a village to help get people over the hump, and they've done an excellent job. So very proud of both of those departments. Great things on the horizon in regards to academic all-state. Wanted to give a shout out and congratulations to our students who made academic all-state this year. Very proud of their achievements. That's something that's very difficult to accomplish. The students are Kristen Duong and Caleb Lawson from Moore High School and William Travis Fink from Westmore High School. So again, very proud of those three students. Wanted to also bring you up all up to speed on a few questions that we've had from our community, and wanted to address prom with you guys. And obviously to protect the students and staff against the COVID-19 global health pandemic, and in alignment with the governor's executive order issued on April 2nd, 2020, which prohibits social gatherings of more than 10 people within 30 days of that order, our Moore, Westmore, and Southmore proms have been canceled at this time. We know this is disappointing for our students. It's disappointing for staff. It's disappointing for our families, and most definitely disappointing for our seniors. And so that was a difficult decision to make, but obviously with the circumstances that we have in front of us, I believe Southmore's was this weekend, and Moore and Westmore's were May 2nd as far as the schedule. And of course, we had to look at the venues and that type of thing. So that's the decision that's been made as of this weekend. Commencement ceremonies. We, Mr. Peak, senior class principals, and I met with senior class officers and advisors on Friday via a Zoom meeting to begin conversations about alternative plans for graduation. Currently, we will continue as planned with our ceremonies. However, we understand that it may not be possible to have our traditional ceremonies on our already scheduled dates. Since we're not aware of what the health climate will be in mid-May or towards the end of May, we believed it was best to develop alternative plans, and we wanted to ensure our students and advisors had a voice in what those plans look like. We will also keep traditions as much as possible in moving forward. I will have to tell you, one of the best days through all of this this past 3 weeks and over spring break. Of course, I always love to see our staff members, their faces, and love visiting with them. But the bigger impact for me was when the students all started to get on that Zoom. And of course, a lot of them I know personally because they're a part of the leadership or the Superintendent's Leadership Academy. And that day, I had a smile on my face. It was great to see our students. And it was great to hear their voices and them come up with some really, really great ideas in regards to commencement. And we came up with some good ones. So if we have to make changes from our already scheduled dates, we will make sure that our public gets that. And again, our students will be very instrumental in developing that plan. Senior salutes. Today, we began posting senior salutes, which are highlights of our seniors. That includes pictures, leadership roles, and favorite quotes. Ms. Jones put that call out last week to our patrons, and our patrons are sending those things or those items into Ms. Jones as we speak. And I think we're up to 165 requests to date. It's very important for us to end this year on a solid note for our seniors, and that's one of the reasons why we've never done that before, but we're doing it this year for the circumstances that we've been faced with. Again, we'll be posting all of that on Facebook and doing that as they come in. We're going to do those about 10 a day until we get all of them covered. So if there are any parents of seniors that are watching this tonight, please make sure that you send those to the email. And I believe the email is located, it's at seniors@moreschools.com. And that message was sent out last week from Ms. Jones to our parents that have seniors. Excellence in Education. We will have that celebration virtually on Tuesday, May 12th at 7 p.m. This is where we will honor our 5 Teachers of the Year, those finalists, announce the District Teacher of the Year, as well as our Patron of the Year and Support Persons of the Year. And also we will be identifying and honoring each site level Teacher of the Year. So we did not want that day to come and go without doing some type of recognition, not only for our teachers, but our patrons who do such great work for us throughout the year. We wanted to honor them as well as our support people. And then last but not least, I've got to thank our departments who have worked tirelessly through these past few weeks to help our MPS community transition smoothly from the introduction of COVID-19 to in-school postponement, to school facility closures, to developing and implementing distance learning. Their continued patience, leadership, and knowledge throughout this COVID-19 crisis has been invaluable. I get a lot of positive feedback as being the superintendent of schools, and my response is always, I've got really great people around me. I couldn't do this job without them. And so we've got to give credit where credit's due. And I thank them so very much for helping us get through this troublesome time. That's all.
Dr. Romines, thank you for an excellent report. Just cannot thank your leadership team, the teachers, really just all hands on deck for doing such amazing work, especially during these difficult times. So thank you very much.
You're welcome.
Moving on our agenda, item 6, board presentation, board discussion. We do not have any this evening. So we will move on to item 7, consent agenda. The consent agenda, which concerns items of a routine nature normally approved at board meetings, will be considered and acted upon by one vote unless any board member desires to have a separate vote on any or all items. The administration recommends approval of items 7.02 through 7.19.
Move to approve.
Second.
Reeves,
Yes.
Ritchie,
Yes.
Shuey,
Yes.
Wright,
Yes.
Pruitt,
Yes, motion carries 5-0. Item 8, board discussion and action. Item 8.01, architectural engineering services for Bryant Elementary Classroom Addition. Act upon an agreement between Moore Public Schools and AGP to provide architectural and engineering services for classroom additions at Bryant Elementary School at a cost of $134,000. Will be used bond funds to purchase this.
Move to approve. I'll second.
Reeves,
Yes.
Ritchie,
Yes.
Shuey,
Yes.
Wright,
Yes.
Pruitt,
Yes, motion carries 5-0. Item 8.02, architectural services for future bond issues. Act upon the request to employ AGP to provide architectural services for future bond issues at a cost of $300,000. Again, bond funds will be used for this purchase.
Move to approve.
Second.
Reeves,
Yes.
Ritchie,
Yes.
Shuey,
Yes.
Wright,
Yes.
Pruitt,
Yes, motion carries 5-0. Item 8.03, revisions to Board Policy 1280. Act upon for consideration proposed revisions to Board Policy 1280, anti-discrimination, anti-harassment, and anti-retaliation policy, and grievance procedures. Only change indicated was included in the bold red on the attachment.
Move to approve. I'll second.
Reeves,
Yes.
Ritchie,
Yes.
Shuey,
Yes.
Wright,
Yes.
Pruitt,
Yes, motion carries 5-0. Moving on to executive session pursuant to 25 OS Section 307B1 and Senate Bill 661, act upon entering or not entering into a video conferenced executive session to discuss the personnel items listed on the agenda as 10.01 through 10.04, and to discuss any personnel items brought forth as new business.
I move that we do not enter into executive session.
I'll second.
Reeves,
Yes.
Ritchie,
Yes.
Shuey,
Yes.
Wright,
Yes.
Pruitt,
Yes, motion carries 5-0. Action items 10.01, recommendation for Southmore High School athletic facilitator. Act upon the recommendation of Greg George for the position of Southmore High School athletic facilitator.
Move to approve.
I'll second.
Reeves,
Yes.
Ritchie,
Yes.
Shuey,
Yes.
Wright,
Yes.
Pruitt,
Yes, motion carries 5-0. Item 10.02, recommendation for Southmore High School head wrestling coach. Act upon the recommendation of Zachary George for the position of Southmore High School wrestling coach.
Move to approve.
I'll second.
Reeves,
Yes.
Ritchie,
Yes.
Shuey,
Yes.
Wright,
Yes.
Pruitt,
Yes, motion carries 5-0. Item 10.03, recommendation for Southmore High School head volleyball coach. Act upon the recommendation of Audra Landers for the position of Southmore High School head volleyball coach.
Move to approve.
I'll
Second.
second.
Reeves,
Yes.
Ritchie,
Yes.
Shuey,
Yes.
Wright,
Yes.
Pruitt,
Yes, motion carries 5-0. Item 10.04, personnel agenda. Act upon the personnel agenda.
Move to approve.
Second.
Reeves,
Yes.
Ritchie,
Yes.
Dewey,
Yes.
Wright,
Yes.
Pruitt,
Yes, motion carries 5-0. Item number 11, new business. New business consists of items requiring action by the Board of Education that were not known about prior to the deadline for posting the agenda for a board meeting. Any such items received after the posting deadline that qualify will be considered at the meeting as new business. We do not have any new business for this meeting. And that brings us to our adjournment. Act upon adjournment of the meeting.
Move to adjourn.
Second.
Reeves,
Yes.
Ritchie,
Yes.
Dewey,
Yes.
Wright,
Yes.
Pruitt.
Yes, motion carries 5-0, and the time is 6:34 p.m. We are adjourned. Thank you,
Pursue
everyone.
meeting a success. Thank you,
Thanks,
guys.
everybody.
Thank you.
Stay safe, everybody.
You too.
You too.
Bye.